And I told her, I don't care if he is her husband. Right now.
It's time to rise from the grave. Pour yourself a cup and enjoy the coffee Crypt.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome back to the coffee. Very Crypt. I feel very much Crypt.
We gotta rise from the grave and
need to do something. I don't know if coffee's going to be enough. I tell you though.
I know we are just heading to the holidays, right? This is sort of the home stretch of the season.
Yeah. And this is my my PSA. If you are feeling like I've been feeling this week, just take a break. Stop doing things for a little bit that stress you out. Eat something that brings you joy. Drink something that brings you joy. Take a hot shower till the hot water runs out and sleep. Because it's really crazy. Like, this is the most depressing time of the year for so many people anyway, but it's just exhausting. So make sure you're taking care of yourselves.
It's so true. I think we're just always like, we're in like go mode until the new year. And then it's like, don't rush it. Take the time for yourself. No. Absolutely. Yeah. Watch a horror movie.
Yeah. Or 7 of them, whatever's going to bring you joy. Find those things and cling to them right now.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of holiday horror to enjoy.
Oh my God.
Too.
So much.
A lot coming. I mean, it's back, right?
I don't think I've ever seen this many though at one time. Oh, it's crazy. It's like they listen, like they heard, oh, people like this stuff. So let's do like a bunch of it.
I know. I got to see. I still got to see Thanksgiving, or I don't know if that opened up this week, or
it did.
Yeah, it was this week, right? So I still got to see that. And I still haven't seen Wonderful Knife.
Well, I probably won't get to see either in theater. So,
well, that last one, Wonderful Knife, the theaters just are not playing it.
Oh, really?
Or like if they're playing it, like I looked at, and it's like the worst, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like what? Why?
Really? Do you think it'll change? Maybe when I don't know. I mean, December's only a couple weeks away. Like,
I think it's just because it's a small release and it's just really not getting. I don't know. Maybe if word of mouth and buzz. If it's just maybe those showings are doing well.
Maybe they'll change the
sort of like Terrifier. It'll just kind of.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, I like Michael Kennedy, the guy who wrote it. Yeah. He did. Oh gosh. Wow.
Freaky?
No. Freaky. You're right.
Was it Freaky? Okay. I don't remember.
Yeah. It was good though. But yeah, that's a shame. You don't want to see anything. But you know what? It'll probably be streaming real soon.
Yeah, hopefully. So I can watch it. Because I do want to see that one.
Yeah. I know. But we got a lot of trailers for this episode. Like a ton. So maybe we should dive into it. That way we don't run too long.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
If you've been following our shorts, you saw I was really excited for the trailer for Imaginary. It's coming from Blumhouse, which I know have been hit or miss lately, but this trailer looks really fun. It's coming out in March. I forgot what date. It's like the first or second weekend in March. And yeah, it follows DeWanda Weiss, who's caring for her like young stepdaughter, who has an attachment to like her little teddy bear, Chauncey, and Chauncey's like getting her to sort of do dangerous, creepy games, and it's kind of playing on this idea of like the imaginary friend that like is like a spirit that latches onto kids. Look, and like some of the like little creature designs that they have going, it looks really fun.
Oh my God. Yeah. Because like I guess the story is that like the stepmom Chauncey used to belong to her. And he got abandoned. And so there's like lore to this concept of an imaginary friend, which is really cool. And that so like this reminds me of so many things, but I don't mean that as like it's unoriginal. I don't mean it that way, but it reminds me of so many things. There is a video game, a horror game called Among the Sleep, where you play as a toddler. And your counterpart that you interact with that kind of tells you, your little like person that tells you what to do, right? Because you have to have somebody tell you how to play the game, is a teddy bear. The teddy bear is not nefarious, but it just reminds me of that, like this concept. But it also reminds me of Z, which is also about imaginary friends going bonkers. And then it also reminds me of what is the other one? Oh, Come Play, which is an imaginary friend, but it's kind of like it's very similar. Like it could go very well with these films, I think. This looks so good, though. I am guessing we're probably going to get a PG-13 rating. But their PG-13 movies have been doing so well, and God forbid money to make it a rated R. But
make it scary. If it's PG-13, at least make it scary.
It scary, because that was not FNAF. FNAF was not scary, and I want something scary. Yeah. But that last shot of the trailer,
the
when
bear.
he's like on the toy and he's like moving down the hall with like a sheet over him, and then he just goes like and he's like a big monster bear. Like
no, the creatures look great.
I want. I'm so
it's like a scary version. That. The idea of like an abandoned imaginary friend. You ever see that cartoon, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
I love that cartoon so much. Yeah,
it's such a good cartoon. Very like, just really good stories in there. It was like about like some pretty like deep stuff too.
100%, yes.
Yeah, but they just sort of this idea of an abandoned imaginary friend sort of aspect, like a horror version of it, right?
Yeah. It looks like it's good. It's got like lore. Like this is what happens when you abandon an imaginary friend too early. Oh, it also reminds me of Don't Look Under the Bed, the Disney Channel original movie.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Where it's like these bad things happen to your imaginary friends when you give up on them too young. And this looks good. I'm excited for this one.
I don't. Did you ever have an imaginary friend?
I mean, I don't. I was gonna say I still do, but I don't think I did. I've always talked to myself a lot, but I've never like, talked to like something that wasn't there.
I don't remember if I did or not. I'll have to ask my parents. I don't think
I did. I also didn't have like a connection to like a lovey or anything either, though. I was just very like, I just independently played and talked to myself, which I still do. So,
I was too occupied with my Power Rangers.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was busy enough that like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't recall having one.
Yeah. I don't think even like a special toy, I don't think I named like a stuffy anything or.
No, me neither. So no.
Unless they made us forget.
Oh no.
We're forced to forget as kids because,
something horrible happened.
Something horrible. And then they're gonna come back for us.
Yeah.
That's you know what? They could probably open up a whole universe within this world of imaginary.
I'm telling you, I'm excited. I'm really excited about this one. Like,
I love the playfulness. Like any like sort of like when like children's nursery rhymes are sort of turned creepy, or like I mean, just because I love Poltergeist, I know I feel like I always bring it up, but the idea of like the clown and sort of taking childhood, things and making them extra scary.
Yeah. I know I was like bugging you to go watch the trailer because I was like, I had just seen it come out and I was like, oh my God, stop what you're doing. Go watch this right now. I was so good. I was like, it was so good. I was pumped. And then I wasn't expecting that last scene of the bear. So I wasn't thinking in my head that he's going to turn into anything.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that they did that because I'm telling you, I think that's going to elevate it.
It'd be pretty grisly. Like even if they can't do a lot of gore, and we didn't get an official rating, so
not yet. No, it's not. I looked as soon as I watched the trailer. I was like, it's going to be PG-13, but we'll see.
I mean, they could do like a Megan and sort of release an R-rated later.
Well, and I think we've seen examples of times where they've done PG-13 and it's been really good. You can do a PG-13 and it still be scary.
Yeah.
Like you just have to work around the language and the gore, which I think you can do with this. It's a teddy bear.
Absolutely. It doesn't need to be like.
It doesn't have to be that over the top. So I think there's a really good chance that this could be a really good PG-13 horror movie.
What did I just see the other month? It Lives Inside, like the Middle Eastern one. That was, I'm pretty sure that was PG-13. That was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty good PG-13 movie.
I always think of the others when I think of PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Insidious, that entire franchise is PG-13.
And they're great.
And they're great. And The Conjuring is PG-13.
I think that one's R.
Is it R? I thought it was PG-13. Are they all rated R?
I don't know if I don't know if the Annabelles were R.
Oh, maybe they just steal PG-13.
I think some of them are PG-13, and I think some of them are.
So it's a mix, maybe.
I think it's a mix. Yeah, Conjuring is R.
It is rated R. Okay.
But something like Annabelle
is Annabelle R too?
Oh, Creation was R.
They might all be R then. They just felt like PG-13.
They might all be R. Annabelle Comes Home though feels like PG-13.
Yeah, nothing really happens in that one. You know, as far, you know what I mean, as far as like.
No, Comes Home was R. I'm so.
Dang. They feel like PG-13 though, don't they? Because there's not a lot of language or gore.
No, especially the Annabelle movies.
Yeah, well, either way, Insidious though is a franchise.
Yeah.
There's 5 of those, and all 5 of them are PG.
All 5 of those are PG. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, could be, but I'm excited for this one.
I mean, The Ring was PG-13. The remake's great.
Agreed. I actually think it's scarier than the original.
Yeah, you know, I think it can be. It's all about atmosphere. It's how you do it. You know,
yeah, it can be done.
Yeah,
there's plenty of examples. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But speaking of, not speaking of it now, Chris, but we were talking about Christmas horror. I know our next one is Christmas.
Yes. So the next trailer is There's Something in the Barn, which is going to be on video on demand December 5th. And this is about a family that inherits a house. This like typical haunted house setup, actually. They inherit a house and it's in Norway. And they are very American. And so, but there's these little like gnomes, I guess, that live in the elves or whatever you want to call them. They live in the barn, and there's like these rules. It's like gremlins. There's like rules to keep them happy so they don't hurt you. Mm-hmm. And this family breaks all of the rules, and then they just like rain down on them because they got the rules. Which is so silly and fun. It looks like what is that movie I just watched? There's another movie I just watched that had like goblins in it. I can't think of what it's called though, but this looks like a better version of that because I wasn't too impressed with that. This looks like a super funny movie though. I think this is going to be like, you know what? It reminds me of Krampus.
Oh yeah.
The setup, like as far as like, I feel like there's probably going to be some good family moments in it, but it's also going to be funny and kind of like creepy. And I think it's going to be like a mix. And Krampus is like a phenomenal mix of all of these elements. You've got these really sweet, very great family moments. You've got some really silly, fun moments like the gingerbread men. And then there's like, you know, so it seems like a good mix. I thought this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It does look really funny. Looks really fun. You know, it sort of has like, just like a better like Leprechaun movie.
Yeah, because there's just a bunch of little guys in little cute hats, and they're just coming around like when he grabs that what is that, like a sledgehammer out of the thing. I was like, there's no way he could pick that up. And he gets on top of the car and he like hits down the car. I'm like, well, all right.
Oh man, no, it does look funny. The guy that plays the dad, I forget his name, but he's been doing stuff. He was in an HBO show, Silicon Valley. He was good in that. He played the teacher in Spider-Man.
Yep. He's got the guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
He's been in quite a few things. Yeah.
No, I don't know if Dan watched it, but I sent it to my husband. I was like, would you watch this with me? It looks funny. Because he'll watch like this kind of horror for sure. Yeah. Like Gremlins is one of his favorites.
Yeah. This really made me think of Gremlins. I know it's not quite the same, but
it's got that
the rules, and it's kind of like a lighthearted horror movie, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's got that tone. You know, and just sort of like a little horde of them coming at you just makes you think of
God, so silly. Yeah. So that'll be out on the 5th of December on video on demand. There's Something in the Barn.
Yeah. I can't imagine it'll be a pricey rental. I feel like this will probably be like a $5 movie.
Yeah.
Something like that. Probably. Yeah. But next on our list, sticking with the Christmas horror, is The Sacrifice Game. So I was bummed I missed this one at the festival I was at. It was like the last. I think it was the closing night movie. And what's actually really cool was they did a Christmas themed party in the bar underneath the movie theater.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I got to see some of the decorations that they put out, which was fun.
Yeah.
But the sacrifice game, so I'll just read the plot. It's bad enough that boarding school students Samantha and Clara can't go home for the holidays, but things take a deadly turn when a murderous gang arrives on their doorstep just in time for Christmas. So this like murderous gang, it seems like there's this like legend kind of gets around about them, because it sounds like people sort of know about this group that's sort of coming in and kind of taking out a family or a house full of people. And they're sort of following a lore or like a legend that they found in a book to sort of accomplish their goals. Through these sacrifices. And yeah, so this is sort of like taking the classic sorority house kind of setup and throwing it back to the 70s, kind of this like early satanic panic days.
Yeah. Yeah, this, I think, I really like anything that's like home invasion. Because we don't really have, we have a few, but it's not something that I feel like is used that often.
Right.
And I really liked, when you watch the trailer, you're like, okay, like home invasion slasher, sure. But then I really liked the added component of the book and the whole, like, there being like some more to it than that. I really like that a lot.
Yeah. It looks pretty wild. Just some of the action too, and a lot of the snowy scenes look really well shot. Just that 70s kind of aesthetic in these like beautiful houses. The actor too, sort of leading the group, the gang, is Menu Saad. I have I have a big crush on him.
I don't know who that is. What else?
So he was Aladdin in the live action remake.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not recognize him.
Yep. He was also in, what was he in? He was in this show on Hulu called Revival that only lasted a season, but I really liked it. It was sort of like a revenge story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one was really good. I think what the heck else was he in? I'm like totally blanking. But I big crush on him. But he's a really good actor.
Because I've seen Aladdin, but I didn't recognize him.
Totally different aesthetic here.
Well, sure. Yeah,
he wasn't sacrificing people in Aladdin.
No. That's true. Yeah. No, I thought this looked good. I like stuff like this. Honestly, Christmas slashers in general are going to be more my speed because I'm like so connected to Black Christmas, which is a Christmas slasher. And so I don't think anything will ever come close to that, but I think it just kind of puts me in that same feeling of how I feel when I watch that. And so
could be a good double feature, when this comes out. And watch Black Christmas or something.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Same decade. Well, this is supposed to take place in the 70s, so
I know what you mean though. Yeah,
right. That 70s. I want to add about it though. But yeah, so that's going to be on Shudder. December 8th. So soon. Just a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Close. So the next thing we had was Alone in the Dark gameplay trailer, which the game comes out January 16th. Apparently it's a franchise. This one is a reimagining of the 1992 Alone in the Dark game. When I was watching the trailer, I saw in the comments, and I mean, I'm a horror gamer, so I can't believe I've never, but anyway, I saw in the comments, we were like, oh, this franchise, and I'm like, franchise? I'm like, what franchise is this? And look it up, and there's like, what did I say, like 7 games or something? This would be the 7th installment of the Alone in the Dark gaming franchise, and I'm like, all right. But the trailer, so it does not give a solid, this is the story. Basically, what I got out of it is that there's a small town and there's a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of like Silent Hill. That's what it reminded me of. There's monsters. Like there's all these things like, oh, don't let them in at night, or don't let them come in because they're not friendly. And then you see like some monster clips. There's like this little ghost girl that's like being smart assy to some adults. Like there's like, but the scene starts with a little girl singing a song in her bedroom, and it comes in through her window, which is so pretty, like such a great shot. But she's tying a noose around her neck. And then it like cuts to like a couple of cutscenes, I guess, that are in the game. But the gameplay itself looks a lot like Silent Hill, a lot like Evil Within. Mm-hmm. A lot like Evil Within. And then what was the other game it reminded me of? It reminded me of another one. But either way. So yes, it's got some monsters. It's small town horror. It's a stunning game. It looks incredible.
It's really beautiful.
So we'll see. I might be able to do a let's play on that one, depending on, you know, what I find out in January. But January 16th, Alone in the Dark.
It looks good. It looks I just love like that 1920s vibe, the Lovecraftian sort of feel to it as well.
Yeah, the colors and
yeah, because you got like sort of like this like 1920s coppers mystery kind of thing going on, and I think it's definitely the 20s. I mean, at least someone had like sort of like a flapper bob.
Yeah, and the little beret.
The beret,
headband.
Right? So yeah, no, I definitely listen, anything in the 20s, I'm all for it. Before the pandemic, I was going to do a 1920s themed 30th birthday. I got the kibosh. So, but I love Gatsby's one of my favorite books from high school, so I'll take that. Plus, you throw in this sort of like Lovecraftian look and add it. I guess it feels very New Englandy, right? Because and that's David Harbour too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a really good actor.
You play as the detective or something, because that's what the girl in the 20s hairstyle says. She's like, "Welcome to the crazy house, detective," or something like that.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting.
You play as, you know, somebody. Kind of reminds me. The other game it reminds me of is the Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it looks, you know, that one looks very similar to this as far as the year and the crazy story. And
I think I played that one. There's that one that was very like linear though, the story, right? It wasn't very like.
Yes. It also, I don't think it was super long either, but it like ends in like towards the end, you end up in like a cave with a bunch of other people trying to make sacrifices or something like that.
Yep. I did play that. There was another one. So was it like The Sinking City? Was that another one?
Oh shit, that's what I'm thinking of. Wasn't that Cthulhu?
I think it was also Cthulhu, but there was like
so that's the one I'm thinking of.
But there was one called Call of Cthulhu, I think.
But I think Sinking City's the one with the sacrificing.
Okay.
Where you have to like go around and interview people, and you're trying to get like what's going on. Yeah, that's the one. I'm sorry. So that one, not Call of Cthulhu.
We're like putting off. Was that the one? Because like there was also one with a hospital yet you were investigating.
What was? I don't remember which one that one was.
I don't remember. Oh man, I'm putting a bunch of games together. But anyway, that whole vibe.
Well, I mean, after a while, you play enough of them, or enough time has passed, and they all start to sound the same sometimes. But yeah, but Sinking City is the one I was thinking of. You're right, where it looks very like old, and the colors look very similar to this in Alone in the Dark, and very similar. You know, look and appeal, I think.
Yeah, so you said that was January?
January 16th.
Well, also coming out in January, we have Founders Day, which is a slasher. And I feel like slashers in general are also making a comeback since like the Halloween kind of reboot. And
I had it in my mind that if this was the one I announced, I was going to say Thanksgiving too. Oh, I mean Founders Day.
It very much has that vibe, right? It's a town sort of plagued by killings leading up to, they say, a heated mayoral election. So we're sort of getting it was a very short teaser. We're kind of getting this kind of powdered wig killer. Very George Washington-esque, very, you know, the old Quaker kind of look. But it looks fun. Looks like it's gonna be pretty gory. I mean, there was a quick scene with like a bloody bathtub, and it said like "Don't look under the bed" or something, and very quick action. You know, but I'm hearing good. You know, you're comparing it to Thanksgiving. I'm hearing good things about Thanksgiving. Maybe we're gonna get that same sort of fun, fast kind of callback to like 80s, 90s slashers. Yeah,
it's been interesting, the stuff that's been coming up lately.
Well, similar to Thanksgiving, right? This sort of feels like a throwback to like a Terror Train or like, you know, one of those.
It kind of reminded me also, and I know it's a different holiday, but My Bloody Valentine, the original.
Oh yeah.
kind of just feels like that.
Definitely. Hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I loved that one. My Bloody Valentine's one of my favorites. I love that one.
I remember getting the 3D one on DVD, and it had like the crappy blue and red 3D glasses.
The one with Jensen Ackles?
Yeah, the remake, with Jensen Ackles. And it was back when they were still trying to do like 3D at home. So you would get the little red and blue, like.
I never got to see it in 3D, but you can tell when you watch it that it was supposed to be in 3D. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pickaxe coming at the camera.
Oh my God. But I did like the remake though. I did not think it was awful. They were cashing in on Jensen when he was like, I mean, everybody still likes him, but that was back when he was like. It was
like heyday Supernatural.
Yeah. Super like big deal that he was in that film. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Did he do other horror movies too? Wasn't he in something else?
Yes. Yeah, he did. I don't know which ones though.
Right.
He did horror for a little while because it was kind of the same thing. People were like using him because he was so popular because that was around the same time Supernatural was big. And not that it's not. Y'all already typed in the comments. I know it's everything to the people who love that show. But this was like when it really started, I think, to pick up traction. So that's when he started getting other things.
It was just wider. People, like casual fans were watching it still. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
but that's going to be January 19th in theaters. I think it's in theaters.
Yeah, theaters for sure. Yeah. So we also got a trailer for Sweet Home season 2, which is a show I watched a billion years ago. It feels like now, 2 years ago.
It was a big gap. I think the first season was like 2020.
Yeah, it was during COVID or peak COVID because the first season they're like it's about people stuck in an apartment building and they can't leave because there's monsters outside. And but you can, as a human being, you can turn into monsters, but you don't know what you're going to turn into until you do. And so it's like this like survival. It's very video gamey to me.
Oh, interesting.
But the monsters are really cool. I do think my only complaint is like the middle of the first season. There's kind of a lull because they're just sitting around the apartment complex. They can't do anything. So it takes, a little bit to pick back up and going into the end. But I actually was wondering if they were even going to do a second season because this is Netflix.
Oh, I know. And
so I think I sort of just assumed they were just going to give up on it. But yeah, so the second season comes out December 1st and it looks wild. I love that it is in the world. It is not just one building because I think if they did that again, I don't think it would work. So it's very like essentially monsters. There are humans that when they're, I guess, infected, they can control their monster. It doesn't control them, which is not usually what happens. Usually they can't change back. They're just the monster. And so, and there are ways to tell if people are infected and that kind of thing. And so there's, of course, that military Resident Evil thing where they just open shoot into a group of people or they pull people aside and shoot them and kill them because they think they're infected. But this looks very much like a toe of this our main character who is a monster, but he can control it. And this other person who is also a monster and can control it, but wants to use it for wiping out humanity and maybe doing some other nefarious things. So it looks like it's going to go in a very different direction, which I think is probably good. Cause I think, like I said, I think they pretty much did all they could do with the concepts from the first one, but because the first season, the very first episode, first episode, you see the ending of the season. You just don't realize, so it's like, so you're getting the story of all the things that have happened up to this moment. And then season 2 is after that. It looks like, because it looks like it picks up from where he's outside, the main character. And, but yeah, anyway, looks very political, very zombie film-esque, but the monsters look good in this again too. His monster, I don't know what it was, like wings or something crazy, but it looked really good. So
yeah, I never watched the first season, but I saw this. It piqued my interest. I think you shared it with me first, right?
Yeah.
I think the poster for it.
I was excited. Yeah.
Because I think this came out during Geek Week, right? I think it was so Netflix was doing Geek Week, which was sort of all their kind of like sci-fi fantasy horror stuff was getting like previewed. And you know, I'm because there was such a long gap, I'm happy that I kind of get to watch it back to back with the first season.
Yeah.
Just so that everything sort of stays fresh. I mean, I'm still waiting for my Korean horror film, horror show that I watched, Hellbound. Did you watch Hellbound?
I always see it, but I've never watched it.
Yeah, I loved it.
That's monsters too, right?
That was people getting dragged to hell by these big, like, shadowy, bulky ghosts. Yeah. So it was just really like one kind of monster, but then it was sort of
I gotcha.
kind of a you know, we didn't know, like, were they angels, servants of God, like what was going on? They were pretty much being told that they were being judged and being sent to hell.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. So that seems like another long gap kind of thing. So I'm still waiting on that one. But this one I'll watch these 2 seasons back to back.
Yeah, that'll be good. I'll probably have to rewatch at least the second half of Sweet Home, because that's been, I mean, yeah, it's been years since I've seen it. So, but I'm excited. So that'll be out on Netflix.
Does pretty good, like, recap, like, things.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, so that'll be on Netflix December 1st.
Cool. Well, our next trailer is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. So I'm more excited for this than I was Afterlife, the last one that came out. I think this one looks fun. So it's sort of New York City is entering an ice age, and sort of the grandkids of Egon are back, that whole family from Afterlife. They're in New York with Paul Rudd, restarting the Ghostbusters. Everyone's in it, like Dan Aykroyd, I think Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, right? They're all back. With Egon's family. Yeah. And but then we got newcomers, Patton Oswalt's in this. And then there was one other actor that just joined for this one too, right? Kumail Nanjiani.
Okay.
So the 2 of them are in this as well. I'm sure there'll be humor. Like, my thing is, like, Ghostbusters is supposed to be funny, and Afterlife didn't seem that funny to me. It felt like it was taking, like, it was heartfelt, but it was taking stuff a little too seriously.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Versus, like, you know, like the SNL-y kind of humor of the original 2.
Right.
This one, you know, I hope it's funny. If it's not, that's okay. I'm happy we're getting, like, a new villain. We're getting, like, just sort of a different supernatural story. You know, we're not bringing back Gozer. We're not bringing back, you know, Vigo.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's going to be a fresh story. Whatever this ice spirit is. Yeah.
I think I read that this is supposed to be like the game. I'm sorry, animated show. It's supposed to be like the series.
Like the real Ghostbusters?
Like it's supposed to be like more influenced by the cartoon.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
So they're really going to world build here.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts?
I didn't see the last one. I don't really have a reason. I didn't avoid it or like, I'm not going to watch it. I don't feel. So I'll have to watch that one. But I mean, I really love the original too. And I think they're really fun to just they're like great. Just throw on when you don't know what you want to watch and just have a good, like, relaxing time. But I really liked them. So I need to see the other one. I also haven't seen the one with Kate McKinnon yet either.
So my husband and I really love the remake.
I think I'm probably going to also really love that one. But again, there's no reason. I just didn't get around to it. I just, but no, I think this looks good. I'm excited to see what this, like, villain baddie is, like, kind of all about, because you don't get a lot of information. But I think it definitely, like, seeing everything covered in ice was pretty cool. It looks good. I think maybe it will be a little less serious than the one before, but.
Yeah, I think it's sort of the Ghostbusters, kind of like Scream, maybe more so comedy than Scream. They do really a really good blend of the horror and the comedy, I think. Especially with the Kate McKinnon one. I thought they really tried to be funny with that, and then they also tried to be scary with it. There was some, like, creepy moments that was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'll have to watch that one soon. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend because I haven't seen it.
There was also like some fun action. Like they had like really cool new gadgets and like it was just different.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is coming out. Do we have a date on that one? March 29th. So not too far, actually. It's only a few months away.
It'll be here before we know it. Yeah.
I know. Actually, we had a few movies coming out in March. March is going to be pretty pretty
January and March.
This.
January and March so far.
January, March, yeah.
The two big ones. Yeah.
And I don't know the next one you're excited for. You and your son specifically.
Yeah. So we finally are getting more Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, which is the animated spin-off show about kids that go to test out the camp. Like everybody wins or was selected for different reasons to go to Camp Cretaceous, which is like the camp that's going to be in the Jurassic World. And they're the first ones that get to try it out. So there's no other kids. There's only the 6 of them. And so there's like 4 or 5 seasons. I forget how many because we watched them all like just kind of it's a blur. But my son and I love this show. It's very, you would almost expect when you're an adult like to not feel things when you watch stuff like this. But it has got some really heartwarming like friend moments. That's really great. Relationship building between the friends that are stuck there because they don't start out as friends and all that. But it takes place the exact same time as the Jurassic World movies. So at the end of the last season, the dinosaurs live everywhere because the next movie is Dominion, where they're everywhere. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe they're going to be done. Well, so the trailer dropped for the new one, which is called Jurassic World Chaos Theory. But it is Camp Cretaceous. It's the Camp Cretaceous storyline, but it's kind of another spinoff of that. Mm-hmm. There's no release date. It's just going to come sometime in 2024. That's also Netflix. Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited. I really genuinely love the show. I feel like it's very inclusive. You've got all sorts of ethnicities. You've got, there is a coupling that is in the queer community. Like it's such an inclusive show. And I just feel like we need more things like that when we're talking about things that are geared towards children. Children of color need to see themselves in stuff. They need to see that. And children who are coming into preteen, teenage years need to see happy, healthy, young, gay love. Like people can think whatever they want, but they need to see that. That's important. And this is something that focuses so much on the good. Their bad stuff that happens to them is because they're running from dinosaurs, not because people are treating them like garbage for loving each other. You know what I mean? So it's very just a positive show. And so I'm really excited to see this. It doesn't say like too much about what's going on. It's a lot of dinosaur clips and then this really magical moment at the end where a car door opens and Darius, who's the main character, one of the main characters, gets out. And I literally, like, you saw my reaction. I was like, oh my God, like, I'm so excited for this. And I think it's going to be, I know for a fact without a question that me and my son are going to absolutely eat this up. We love Camp Cretaceous. So I'm excited they're doing it.
Yeah. I still need to see Camp Cretaceous. I think it's coming. I don't know if we were talking about Lego Jurassic, maybe we were talking about it on the show before.
It's come up like multiple times.
Come up a lot. So I'm like, this is a sign that I need to just watch it. But I am excited for the Chaos Theory, just for the sole fact that it takes place after Dominion.
It does,
or during Dominion, or whatever it is. Like this whole idea of like dinosaurs out in the world, and I'm like so curious to see, what the rest of the world looks like. I mean, we got to see. I feel like I'm like one of like the 10 people that actually like Dominion.
Oh no, I love Dominion.
Okay,
I thought Dominion was so good.
We're like 2 of the 10 people that liked it.
I don't think Addie liked it that much, but yeah. I loved it. But you know what though, honestly, anything dinosaurs I'm here for. But I like Dominion.
Yeah, no, and right, anything dinosaur is going to get my butt in the seat. But I want to see it, and I think that there are plans to expand the franchise. Like I don't know if they want to do more movies or they want to do, like, obviously they're going to do the animated show, but maybe they'll do like a live action show or more movies. I don't know, but I would love like a live action TV series would be kind of cool.
It'd be expensive, but I think they could probably
series.
get the money. Well, and I think what's true about this show being where the dinosaurs are like all over the world already is that as an animated show, you can do more with less because they're just drawings. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, it's true.
Not just like in a negative way, but you know what I mean?
Right. It's, there's not a lot of other considerations that you would for a feature-length movie.
Yeah, you don't have to make realistic looking dinosaurs for it to be effective because it's a cartoon.
Right. You don't have to worry about realism, putting live people on screen with dinosaurs, right? There's like a lot of other stuff that you don't necessarily have to worry about.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I'm excited. I actually might even start Cretaceous today, now that I'm thinking about it.
They're little 20-minute episodes. I think you're going to love it.
It's like a quick, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're going to love it. It's really, really good. Yeah, so again, we don't have an out date for that yet, but sometimes in 2024.
Yeah. So the next trailer I'm so excited for. So
it's fun when we get things that we're genuinely like pumped for,
Yeah. So this is a live action adaptation for the 90s anime Yu Hakusho. The manga I think is the 80s, much like Dragon Ball. So the original, like the Japanese anime, it might have started in the 80s and then maybe came to the US in the 90s, but either way. So it follows Yusuke Urameshi. He dies, and then he is then hired to be the spirit detective. And then he's kind of, the first arc is like his journey back to his body. But as he's a ghost, he starts as the spirit detective, and he's sort of solving these spirit crimes.
Yeah.
But then it gets like kind of super shonen, where much like Dragon Ball, there's a lot of like martial arts and like fighting, and it gets a lot like that. But then what I'm really excited about this is they definitely have an opportunity to make the spirit world a little bit creepier, and I think we get a sense of that in the trailer, because the anime I wouldn't necessarily say is horror. But I think within their design,
you said that it looked like it was leaning more into horror than it does in the.
I think so. I mean, especially with some of the designs that I'm noticing in the trailer. I mean, all that sort of fun, flippy action stuff is there, but I'm excited to sort of see these spirits fleshed out on screen like that. I know, for someone who's never watched the anime, what did you think of the live action trailer?
You know what it reminded me of? And don't get me wrong, I know that they're different, but it reminded me of Bleach.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like storyline wise and like some of the, just conceptually.
Yeah, so I guess it's very kind of similar-esque.
Yeah, but obviously it's its very own unique thing, but that's just kind of what I was thinking. I was like, oh, it's kind of like Bleach. I love Bleach. And so I think this looks really good. I mean, I like stuff that's got like fighting and action stuff, but the concept of like being a spirit detective sounds really cool. Like, so I'm more excited because it sounds like something that's going to be really cool. But I think it looked great too. I mean, so yeah, I think this will be one I have to check out. I don't know if I'm really picky about, because it's anime, it's not manga, right?
Anime is the like animation, yeah.
Yeah, so it is an anime though, or it's a manga.
So most anime is based on a manga, right? So manga is the comic.
Oh, sure. So it was that anime first.
Yeah, so it's usually the manga first.
Yeah. Okay. If I can find it, I would even watch the anime. I'm really picky about animes, but
it's short. It's only only 100 something episodes, but it's not like one of these long running anime like Naruto or One Piece, where it's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes. I think it's like 120-ish, like somewhere around there. I forgot exactly, but
okay. Might be one I have to check out. But no, the movie looks good.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. So that's going to be December 14th on Netflix.
Yeah. No, that'll be one I have to I'll definitely have to look at that one, or I'll definitely check that one out, because I thought it looked really good.
Oh yeah.
So the next one is an interesting. We're going into news and trending. So this is kind of I didn't expect this news. Was it? I think it's the best way.
Radar.
I guess the way I could put it. So Monkey Paw, which if you don't know is Jordan Peele's film company or whatever you want to call it. They are working on a remake for The People Under the Stairs. If you're not seeing The People Under the Stairs, I highly recommend that you remedy that quickly. It is a terrifying social commentary, and it is so well done. It's done by Wes Craven. And it's a phenomenal movie. It's very scary. It's very dark. It's emotional. It's kind of silly sometimes. Like it's technically a horror comedy, so it's got like a mix of stuff going on. But it's but it's really good. And so I saw this, and I immediately went and messaged Ashley from Sledgehammer Horror because this was on her list for influential. She absolutely loves this film. And I was curious what her thoughts were because she's so connected to the film. And she said, because of who's handling it, she's cautiously optimistic. And I said, I actually agree. I think that if there was going to be someone or a group or however, because I know this doesn't technically mean Jordan Peele is going to be directing. We don't know that yet. It's just that Monkey Paw is going to be working on it. But I think if there was ever going to be a team driven by the right person to redo this, I think it's this one. I think, the original film is done by Wes Craven. I think it would be a good time to revisit the concepts in this story from someone who is in the community that this film is about versus, another, I don't know how else, I don't know, like the nice politically correct way to say this, but I don't think this needs to be remade by another white guy. I think this needs to be made by people and a team, or however you want to look at it, that are people of color. I think that this film and everything that it encompasses and the undertones and the things that it's discussing very, very openly, I think will be better done not being like, redone by someone who is not really eligible to discuss the things that are in the film. So having said that, I think it's in great hands. I think it's probably actually going to be very good. And if Nia DaCosta is the director, sign me up. I love her so much.
They didn't say that was going to be. She was going to be.
No, I'm just saying if she does it, because she's worked with. I don't know if she works under Monkey Paw, but she worked with Peele on Candyman.
Yeah,
and it was stunning. The film was stunning, and it was so beautifully done and so emotional. And she did such a phenomenal job that I think she would be perfect to do this film.
110% agree. I was actually going to say Nia would be phenomenal for this.
Is it Nia? I'm sorry, Nia.
Nia. Now you say Nia. I think it's Nia, but I could be wrong too. I don't.
But she's amazing. I love her. She did the new Marvels movie.
She just did the Marvels. Yep. She's great. I think she's got a great eye for film and telling a story. And like you said, the Candyman prequel, whatever, the new Candyman was just so beautiful. Like I always think about the puppet silhouette story, like stuff was so. Oh man.
I was an emotional mess when I left the theater after seeing Candyman. It hurt, like in the ways that it needed to. You know what I mean? Like so good. Yeah, I would love to see. She would be my number one candidate for this, I think.
I think it would be great. This isn't a movie that I've seen in a while. It's been a long time, actually. I'll probably have to revisit it. Just because, it's going to be a while until this new one comes out. I'm sure this is probably going to be like a 25 movie.
Yeah, this is just discussions right now.
Right, because with strikes, we were bound to get a lot of stuff that was probably about to come out right before the strikes happened.
Sure.
Now that the strikes are over, we're sort of getting everything that we would have gotten like 3-4 months ago, right? So they're probably finally pushing forward with something like this. So we'll see. I am excited.
Yeah, I mean, they can take their time with it. It's going to be one that I think is going to be under a microscope for a lot of people because I think this came out in the 80s. So it's 80s, late 70s, 80s.
80s or not?
Was it 90s?
91.
91, not 80s. I think this one's going to be one that people are going to be like really looking at and dissecting and So you know.
That first trailer will be huge.
Yeah. So Jordan, if you're listening, please hire Nia or Naya to direct this movie. And
exactly.
Tell her we will happily interview her to discuss it.
Yeah. Right. Hopefully we'll big
I'm manifesting,
that kind of
Steve.
interview. Put it
I'm manifesting. Yeah.
Put it out into the universe. Our second and last piece of news is that sort of also getting announced on the heels of the strikes ending is that they are in talks for a standalone Fear Street movie. For another, so we had our trilogy a couple of years ago, and now they're going to work on a fourth installment. No word on sort of the plot or who's in it, who's directing. None of that, but we know it's happening.
Yeah.
If you've been following any of I think I've mentioned it either here or the lives, I've been reading the Fear Street novels.
Yeah.
I would love if they started to try to adapt some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know that the trilogy was sort of like they were loose adaptations, right? They took kind of some of the witchy stuff, some of the lore. It would be cool if they kind of went back and saw there's so many books in the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just whether it's the teens on the Fear Street or the the flashback books, there's just so much lore to pull from.
Yeah. I think my only thing with this was I was a little bummed it wasn't another trilogy.
I know. Well, maybe they'll surprise us and be like, surprise, actually.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, those three movies. I didn't like the Jason-y one, the second one, as much. 80, whatever.
Oh, that was 70.
Was it 70s?
Something, yeah.
Was it?
It was 90s, 70s, 1600s.
Yeah, 1600s and 90s, I remember. Okay. Well, I didn't like the Jason-y one, the camp one. Yeah. I think it was fine. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't, to me, it wasn't as strong as the other two.
Yeah, fair.
So, but no, I loved that trilogy so much. So I'm really hoping they're going to be like, just kidding. It's 30 new movies. That'd be great.
Well,
I'd watch all of them.
It would be kind of cool if it was an anthology movie.
Yeah.
And if it was 2 hours and maybe it was 40-minute stories, or something, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of a different way to do the, if you want to try to fit in other adaptations,
Yeah. And they could even stagger it like they did with these originally, because these came out a week apart, almost like episodes. Yeah. It was treated like a mini series, but they're full-length movies. I
wouldn't mind if they did a TV show.
I would watch the hell out of that. 100%.
Yeah.
Love Fear Street. And that trilogy, I'm telling you, those movies were just so good. So good. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited. We'll see what they do, I guess.
But yeah, and hopefully it's just as queer.
Yes, we need that. Yeah.
More queer horror. But that brings us into our shout outs and recommendations. So this YouTuber we've shouted out before, but I want to call to his so Norin on YouTube, NorinRad89. He just did a ranking of every Scooby-Doo TV series, and he posted about this, and I was just I had a message. I was I am so impressed. It was 1,000+ hours of TV content.
Wild.
He dedicated and did his research. I watched it, and I told him I might have been the only person in the live chat, because he was an Insta premiere that he was doing, and I was like, oh my god, I'm putting all these on my watch list, or I put his top 5 in my watch list, I should say. I didn't put all the because there were some ones he did not like.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But his top 5 I put in my watch list. I was like, okay, these sound cool.
Yeah.
But because I like Scooby-Doo, but I never watched all of them. I didn't realize how many different iterations that there were.
I don't think I've seen all of them either. I've seen one of the originals, and I've seen the newer one. What's it called? Mystery Inc. I've seen that one.
Mystery Inc. That one looked cool. Yeah. A lot of them are streaming. They're either on Max or Netflix or something. I just didn't realize so many of them are short-lived, because every time, every couple of years, they would just rename it and do something different with it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how quick they switched it up like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I paid that attention either. I do know there's quite a few of them. I also, when I was growing up, my favorite was a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Yes, that one I remember.
That one was one of my favorites. They're so cute.
Yeah, pup named Scooby-Doo. What's New Scooby-Doo? I remember watching that as a kid. Yeah. And the original, when they would re-air it. And then maybe some of like the ones where they would have celebrities on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I remember him talking about like they would have like Don Knotts.
They had Vincent Price in one too.
Vincent Price. That one looked really interesting. It was the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. It's like a mini series. It's only 13 episodes. Exactly. And it's like one continuous storyline. Yeah. With Vincent Price. And then I looked, there was actually a movie that wraps up the storyline.
Yeah. I didn't know about the movie.
Yeah. So there's a whole movie came out like years after the fact. But they were like, let's go back and finish the story.
Anything with Vincent Price though. But yeah, no, Scooby-Doo is, there's a lot to, that's a lot.
Yeah. So just super impressed. So Norrin, awesome job. You should check him out. He's wonderful regardless. You know, everything he does is great.
Love Norrin.
Yeah. So we'll put his info below.
Yeah. So my shout out is two fellow content creators from The Scariest Cut. I'm like 97% sure I have not shouted them out before, but if I have, I'm gonna do it again. So The Scariest Cut does a couple of different things. They used to primarily just do The Scariest Cut, like clips of like the scariest part of like different horror movies, and they would talk about it. They started doing more different styles of things. Like I know they were working on doing lives with horror conversations, but most recently they went through and counted down the moments from the original Halloween film. And so they've been doing some of those. And so it's a horror movie show, but they're just the nicest guys. Like their names are Tom and Matt, and they are like so nice. So when I was getting ready to do over the summer, I did my franchise lives on the weekends, and I did Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, I've only seen like 2 of those movies, and God knows I'm not paying to watch every Nightmare on Elm Street movie because I just genuinely don't like them that much. So I from the ones I've seen, I was like, no. And so I put it out into the ether. I was like, is there anybody that would trust me to borrow their physicals? I will send you a shipping label. I will send it right back. And Tom from Scariest Cut, no hesitation, sent me his entire collection of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow.
So, and awesome. I thought that was very sweet. And they're very kind, and they say a lot of really encouraging things. They've popped in on our lives a couple of times. They're just really nice guys. And I love listening to them talk about horror because they don't always come from the same places. And their conversations are just really great. And the way that they talk about things. And God, oh my God, they look, not they like them, but like them too, I guess. But like their setup looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like we watched their set, like I was watching a live and I'm texting Steve and I'm like, this is goals. Like it's stunning. Their setup, their background, like the way they look so professional. And it's just like, oh my God, it looks so good. They're the way that they edit. They're just very good at what they do from a technical standpoint too, as well as the content itself. So anyway, just wanted to shout out to Tom and Matt from The Scariest Cut.
And their information will also be down below.
Yeah.
Well, considering how much we had to cover today.
I was just going to say.
Just under the wire.
Damn thing. Holy smokes.
We are I don't know what it is. We just, it's like, I'm not even thinking oh my God, we're at 46 minutes. We got to get to this point. It just sort of happens exactly almost.
This was this was a lot because we also reach an hour when we have 5 things.
I know.
But I think mentally we allow ourselves to kind of ramble a little bit more because we know we don't have as much.
Maybe. Right. I think, we're just sort of we got to have that internal kind of show clock. Right. We know we're aiming for the hour. It's perfect.
It is. And this is our last one before Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And happy Indigenous Peoples Day as well. That's important, too.
Of course. Hopefully everybody's being safe and enjoying some time with family if they're out. And a lot of people are out of work, right? Are going to be out of work and having to take some time off, and kids are out of school. And so hopefully it's not too stressful. Again, find time for yourself. Find peace in the chaos, because it's about to get worse, because Christmas is next, and
try to go watch Thanksgiving if you can.
Yeah, exactly.
So you might be, fantasizing about that happening if you're having a hard time with family. You can go watch a horror version of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Could be a little cathartic.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all we have for this episode of the Coffee Crypt. So we hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Please give yourself peace this week. Have a great week. And Steve and I will see you real soon.
Bye.